G'day everyone, how are you doing? I'm with Aussie, the BS filter. You know what that stands for, right? Welcome to Dubai. Nice to meet you.
Thank you, pleasure's all mine.
And Aussie is from the crypto space. He's a tourist here in Dubai. Of course, he's been doing well in cryptocurrency, so his advice is good advice. Whatever you see on his channel is worth paying attention to. So we're going to do a short interview with him about what cryptocurrencies you should be getting into, getting out of. And we're at the Atlantis on the Palm right now. You've got a very nice view outside. Let's check this out, and then we'll go and do an interview in the bar. So at Atlantis in the Palm, you can't see it right here, but you have a water park, one of the best in Dubai. Very nice beach, so if you're coming to Dubai, I'd say this is quite a good place to stay. Over there you can see the monorail that comes from the main part of Dubai. And we're on the 8th wonder of the world right here. This is voted for. When they did the 7 wonders of the world, voted for as one of the 8 wonders. So make sure you check it out. It looks beautiful from the sky. So if you get the chance to do a parachute jump, you should do it. Hey, are you into parachuting?
I did some parasailing, but I don't know about parachuting.
Yeah, if you get the chance, there's a place just on the mainland where you can jump off and you'll see the palm from up above. You'll get a great view of it. Yeah. Okay, let's head to the bar where we've got one of our friends who's also going to talk to us about cryptocurrencies.
Hi, my name is Puneet. I am very new to the cryptocurrency, Bitcoin and Ethereum space. Today I have with me a very experienced person. He goes by the name Aussie.
Aussie, the BS filter.
Yeah.
I have my own channel on YouTube, and I think they'll link my channel below.
Yeah. And I'd be asking some questions that I have as a beginner in the space. So, how long have you been in the space?
I started about a year and a half ago, just under like a year and 4 months, just right around there.
Okay.
It was, I kind of, it fell in my lap. I had to stay in the hospital for about a week, and it was the most boring time of my life. And then there was some news about it, and then I just started Googling it, and then I was hooked since then.
So you started buying right after you found out about it?
No. I studied it for a good 2 months, about 15 hours a day, and then I started I invested $25,000 in a mining farm. I started mining Litecoin. I actually built a whole custom farm in the back of my house. I got it air conditioned. It's done nice. You can actually see it once you go to my channel. And then I invested $75,000 in Bitcoin, averaged around $900 each. Litecoin at $4, which is awesome because that blew up. And I bought Ethereum at 45. Now, the Ethereum I sold at different times, but I made a great profit on that. And then I sold all my Litecoin at a huge profit. So basically, all my Bitcoin and my mining farm was free. Yeah, because the profit got me all my money back that I invested. So now all the Bitcoin I have and all the mining equipment, everything's free.
Interesting.
Yeah. So I got lucky. I came in perfect time.
So the coins you got was from your mining farm itself?
No. I actually invested $75,000. I bought 25 grand in Bitcoin. I bought 25 grand in Litecoin, and I bought 25 grand in mixed Peercoin, Namecoin, and Ethereum. And I sold all the Ethereum and Litecoin for a huge profit. And I got all my money back. Like, the whole 100,000 initial investment, I got all that.
For how long did you hodl?
Now, I started the mining farm in the middle of last year.
Okay.
And I invested the money in about September, October, and I sold everything like in the first half of this year.
Okay.
Yeah, but I still own a lot of Litecoin, and as I mine it, and I own a lot of Bitcoin. Thank God. Bitcoin is king.
So do you own the ASICs or are you?
I own ASICs. Yes, I own the L3s for Litecoin, and I own the A4s. And I have a couple A2s, but I've unplugged those because the difficulty has gone up and they're not profitable with the electricity.
Interesting. And how long did it take you to get all this equipment together?
Oh, I bought them all off eBay because that's the best prices.
Like a second hand?
No. Well, some are second hand, but the L3s are all brand new.
Okay.
Yeah, the L3s, you buy them. What happens is you can buy them directly from Bitbay, but I never did business with them, so I didn't trust them. So somebody else bought them and sold them to me for he made like $400 on each one, which was okay with me. I didn't have no risk, so.
And do you have a technical background or?
I'm a businessman. Let me give you a little background first. I opened up my first insurance office about 15 years ago.
Okay.
And
in the US?
In the USA, yeah, California. And now I own a chain of those. I own a dealership. I own a finance company. I own a DMV service. I own an income tax service. So I'm into a lot of different things. And I do all my own programming in the computers. I do all my own networking. I don't know how to code or any of that, but I have a good understanding of how everything works.
Interesting. So, I mean, coming from a financial background, did it help you in judging, analyzing the Bitcoin space? Was it, I mean, were you excited about it technically?
Oh,
like I am excited about it technically.
That's what married me to it, is what a blockchain is and what it can do. And I mean, if you watch my videos, you'll see I like it for voting. I like it for car sales. I like it for loans. I like it for credit. I mean, the blockchain is, I compare it to a family tree. You can't say like, let's get rid of grandpa. He was an asshole. Let's get rid of him. You can't do that. So, and I compare it to a family tree. It's there. It's you can't change it. And that's why I sold my Ethereum. Okay. Because I guess their blockchain, you can do whatever they want. So I'll get back into that later, what I meant by that. So yeah, the technical aspect of it is what gives it its power.
Okay.
I mean, its future. You can't just print it. You can't. There's a cap of 21 million for Bitcoin, and it's timed every 10 minutes, 12 and a half. For 2 more years, then it goes to 6 1/4, and then it goes to 3 It's beautifully set up. And the guy who invented it, Nakamoto, knew that he had built something completely badass, and that's why he won't show himself. And anybody who says he is that person is full of shit, regardless of, unless you can take money out of the Genesis private key, then you're not him. You have to be able to pull money out of the Genesis, which is the first key made, which has got over 1 million Bitcoin. You take it out of there, and I'll believe you. Like Greg Bright, all these other guys say that, man, they're liars. No.
So where do you see this going in say 1, 3, 5 years? Do you see it replacing banks? Do you see it replacing all the financial services industry?
No, banks are too smart. They have too much money for them to let it pass them by. Banks have they've already started to put their claws into it. Ripple, for example, Ethereum, they've already invested heavily in that blockchain technologies. So I see it. Okay, for the next 5 years, it's going to put banks in check. It's gonna, governments print money as they please. So what crypto's gonna do, Bitcoin especially, is the more you print, the higher it's gonna go. Okay. So it's gonna keep them in check. It's going to keep the central banks in check, the governments in check, but not until everybody understands what it is. The problem is the wallet's too hard to use for the average Joe. Just like email, if you remember back in the night, nobody got an email. Nobody knew how to, and some people don't know how to. So imagine using a wallet and the addresses, and I mean, getting like my grandma or my grandfather to do that is no way. So it's going to take years for us to adopt. Right now, we are in the embryo. We are an embryo. We're not even close to even being a baby yet. We're just so early into the space. I say 20 years before we have mass adoption. And once we hit like the 10-year mark, you're going to see a lot of banks shut down. You're going to see the banks that did it. Some banks are not going to adopt it regardless. They're not going to believe in it. Some banks are smart. They will adapt it. And I see it as our future. And if we don't take care of it now, this is our only chance to save ourselves from what is really going on in the world. If you understand what I mean by that.
Interesting.
Yeah. We're in a place where if a country doesn't listen, it gets bombed. If you stop using the dollar, you get bombed. If you have to be, so Bitcoin is gonna solve all that. If we take care of it, we hold on to it, we fight for it, and we take care of it. We can't allow these debates go out of hand. We can't allow anybody that wants to make an ICO, anybody that wants to hard fork. We need, as users, as developers, as miners, we need to be more together. We need to unite behind Bitcoin instead of right now it's starting to separate us.
Very right. And how do you see the regulators regulating this place? I mean, Japan gave it as a status as a currency. India is thinking about giving. I mean, they try to ban it first. Even all countries try to ban it, but they can't ban it.
Every time a country tries to ban it, it's going to go up.
Yeah.
This is what's beautiful about Bitcoin. It goes to war with you. If you want to regulate it heavily, if you want to ban it, it goes up higher. And the higher it goes, the more people are going to want to deal with it. So they can't. They understand. The governments have gone to a point where like, all right, wait a minute. We have to deal with this. We need to accept it. Because if we don't, it's going to railroad right over us. Because, for example, my Bitcoin, you can offer me all the money in the world. If I can't replace them, I will not sell to you. You can offer me $1 million for each coin. I will not sell to you unless I know I can replace them. I can't replace them. I wouldn't sell them. They're too valuable. I know what they're gonna be, what they are, their future. And we need to teach our kids. The grown-ups, our parents, it's over. Forget it. They're not gonna learn it. It's gonna be very hard. But us and the next generation, we gotta make sure they know. My kids, I teach them about it all the time. My boy goes into my mining farm with me and helps me work on it, clean it, fix it. He wants to learn how they work, and that's how it's gotta be.
Do you think mining is still profitable?
No.
I mean,
No.
no kind of mining is profitable.
No, especially cloud mining. Stay the fuck away from that. Stay away. Cloud mining is for fools. You let your emotions, oh, you're not a miner now. No, you're not. You just gave your money to some company who's going to give you Bitcoin back and less than what you gave them. You're not a miner. You want to mine, you get a mining farm, you get a miner. Now, some mining is profitable. The majority is not. Electricity is now. If you have cheap electricity, it's profitable. If you do not, no. My electric bill just for my mine farm is $3,000 American dollars every month. So if I don't make 3,000 Litecoin, I lost money. So luckily, the way I have it set up, I was making like 10,000 a month, but the difficulty's gone up. I'm down to like 5,000. So I'm making $2,000 a month. That's it. Which is, I mean, I can afford to, but for the average guy to spend $25,000 to make $2,000 a month, and that's not guaranteed to stay because difficulty can go up. It goes up every 3 days with Litecoin. So if it goes up anymore, it's going to become a loser.
Do you think proof of stake will help solve this problem?
No.
No.
No. We talked about it earlier.
Are you for proof of work?
No.
For proof of stake?
I like mining. The reason is, okay, decentralization is one thing. The technical part of it is another thing, and the users. Those three things makes Bitcoin what it is. If you take the miners out, now you have safety issues. Now you have politics that can get involved. You're opening the door to centralization. I'm 100%. Yeah, I don't mess with coins that are proof of stake. Ethereum's thinking about it. That's why I don't mine Ethereum. I was gonna mine Ethereum. I actually bought some rigs and sold them because they're going proof of stake. Now, if you watch any of their meetings, they hate miners. I don't know why. They're giving you free hashing power. They're taking it. It's not free. You're giving them coins, but those coins are not costing you anything. You're making them anyway. So I truly believe that mining is the heart behind. Because now, let me give you an example. A bank. It has a building. It has management. It's centralized. Bitcoin is nothing. It has nothing. It has these miners, and they're spread all over the world. They are making it. You know how many miners buying Bitcoin? If you add up all the hashing power of Bitcoin, the whole world combined times 10 equals that. That's how strong the hash power is. You cannot hack Bitcoin. Ethereum has been hacked. It's been scammed. It's been played with. It's been forked. It's been reversed. Ethereum is got a bad history, and it's non-stop. They're making ICOs with the smart contracts that crashed the network about 2 weeks ago. It crashed the network. It couldn't handle an ICO, which is they've signed up 20 of them. If you can handle one, what are the rest going to do? The hacking. It just got hacked twice, 200 million, and other hackers saved their ass. The white hat hack. So it's a mess. I like mining. It's more secure, and the more they're attacked, the stronger it becomes.
So what advice do you have for a beginner like me to get into this space? I mean, I was thinking about developing applications and then, trying to jump into that kind of...
Let me tell you, very smart man. For any beginner that wants to get into Bitcoin, that non-technical, now I'm guessing you write code.
I do.
Okay, if you write code, man, we need people like you. We need you to make a wallet that grandma can use. That can say, you know what, I want to send Osme some coin, not 1K minus L plus 6, 4, 3, 2, capital L. Grandma doesn't understand that. Grandma understands Osme, Michael, Bob, Joe, Auntie, that we need apps that make it more, the easier it becomes to use, the more mass adoption you will get. That's what we need. That's my opinion what we need. We need a safer wallet, not one that can get hacked or that can make programs to keep testing different. If you're not technical, buy and hold the coin. Hold it. Don't trade it. Let me tell you something about trading. I tried it for a little bit. Most exchanges you need Bitcoin. Send them Bitcoin, you can do trading. So let's say you trade for another coin and it goes up 5% and you trade back to Bitcoin. If you would have just held on to it, it went up more than 5%. Bitcoin is a beast. To send it, and I used to trade stocks a long time ago, and I made some money, lost some money, made money, lost money. It was a roller coaster. I realized quick it was not for me. Thank God I didn't lose any money, so I stopped. I got into Bitcoin, same thing. I tried trading at a small scale, not like how I used to trade, very small scale, $1,000 trades like that. And I learned really fast that I don't need to trade. I just need to hold it. Litecoin, I bought, thousands. I held it. It went up to 8, it went up to 12, it went up to 20. I held it. It hit 40. I couldn't resist anymore. Started selling. Chunks. Selling. It went down to 29. I bought a big chunk back, and now it's back. It went up to 50s. I didn't sell. Now it's in the 40s. You know, Litecoin is the future for transactions. Bitcoin, would I see the future for Bitcoin? Hello, this is Russia. We would like to buy some oil. Yes, we'll send you the Bitcoins right away. Countries will buy oil with it. Countries will buy their wheat with it. Countries will transact huge amounts of money. That's what Bitcoin is for. Store of value. Large transactions. Corporations need $50 million. I'll send you over 5 Bitcoin. That's what Bitcoin is for. Litecoin, coffee, drinks, you know, everyday things like. Now, some people believe they need even a smaller one for transactions, like Ripple, Nano, or. My problem is, whenever a coin has 9 billion, it scares me out. It just, you know, it's kind of like stocks. Some stocks have like 500 million shares, some stocks have 10 billion. Facebook's got 3 billion, Bank of America's got 10 billion. So they move really slow. But when you have Bitcoin, it could go 2,500 to 3,000 while we're having this conversation. So now, that's could be a bad thing also, but it could be a good thing also. I don't like high coin counts. I like them lower. Now, for my kids, my son anyway, I bought him. I made him a wallet, and I bought him some Ripple. He likes the weird name one, Dogecoin. So I bought him, you know, $10 here, $20 there. You know, just so he can learn, not as an investment, just so he can learn.
Thank you very much for all the questions.
Oh, you're absolutely welcome.
Sorry. That'll be all.
Thank you.
My pleasure.
Anytime, man.
Okay, so we've had a fairly new beginner to cryptocurrency ask Oz some questions. Do you prefer Oz or Aussie?
Whatever you want, man.
Okay. What's your name?
I've been called many things.
Yeah. So instead of continue with the interview format, we're now going to kind of switch to a little bit of a debate format and talk about some of the points that Ozzy raised, and I'll give my opinion on it, and then Oz will have the chance to counter my opinion, and we'll go back and forth, and hopefully we won't get into too big an argument. Let's see how it goes. Okay, so the first point that you that I'd like to bring up, and it's a little bit more difficult now, we're doing it about an hour or two later in real time than when you had the interview, so I'm trying to remember what exactly you said. But you said Ethereum had been hacked twice. Now there was the DAO hack, that was last year, so I don't really want to get into that hack because that
Why
was.
not? I mean, that's the basis of why Ethereum. One of the bases of why Ethereum can't be trusted. Now, I personally don't invest in Ethereum. I trade Ethereum. I buy it when it's low, and because I know it's going to go up, and I sell it when it's high. I don't keep it for a long time. But Ethereum is unsustainable the way it is. The DOA hack, the hacks that happened with the ICOs, it caused a crash.
Well, part of the reason I didn't want to get into it was I wasn't actually in the space when it happened.
Oh,
but
okay.
from what I've heard is that basically because they rewound it, you know, the hackers didn't get the money, and things were restored to the way they should have been.
And which caused a hard fork.
Yeah. And now Ethereum has shown it's got some leadership that can actually make changes that are important, rather than have 2 years of debating
so you think
getting nowhere.
It's proper to rewind So you think that was okay? That was a smart leadership decision. What makes Bitcoin king? What makes it king?
It was because it was the first.
Decentralized. No. It's decentralized. It means
But
you cannot hack it. So, and if you did, it would end the whole crypto space completely. It would not get fixed by a rewind. Rewinding something, it defeats the whole purpose of a blockchain.
well, the rewinding was to get things back to where they should have been, and to, in the future, I am imagining that more infrastructure has gone, and certainly there's a lot of hashing power in Ethereum now.
Let me ask you a question. When you make a mistake, who pays for it?
I do.
You do.
Yeah.
When I make a mistake, I pay for it too.
Yeah.
So why is it when Ethereum makes a mistake, they get to rewind it?
Because they can. And why? And they're not really the ones who pay for that mistake.
That means it's centralized.
Yeah.
It's centralized. That's the whole point I'm trying to make. Is that makes it centralized, not decentralized, which is what's the whole point of crypto space.
The governance is more effective. That's what I'm saying there.
I disagree.
And I don't really want to get into that, because what I'm talking about is, I believe you were referring to the two recent hacks, which weren't actually
also talked about.
Yeah.
Yes.
which weren't actually hacks on Ethereum itself. One was a hack on an ICO, which
On
couldn't-
Ethereum smart contract.
which couldn't be put down to Ethereum being at fault. If anyone was at fault, and I believe they were at fault, it was the ICO itself, because they didn't have proper security for their web page. They had actually been warned.
It was the multi-sig itself that had a flaw in it, and
That was a separate one. Yeah, I was talking about the ICO.
There's several.
one.
That's what I'm saying.
Yes.
There's so many that and that's what
Yeah,
it's all about
but
crypto.
it's not Ethereum itself being hacked. That's my point. It's a wallet
But it was
to
on
do with Ethereum
Ethereum's
and an
smart
ICO.
contract.
Yeah.
It was on Ethereum's smart contract. The ICO is on Ethereum's smart contract.
Yeah, but Ethereum can't be held to blame for an ICO not having a web page with proper security when they don't control that ICO. You know, it's
Okay,
like saying,
I agree.
Yeah.
But I mean, when you're gonna do business with me, I'm gonna make sure that your business is done right.
yeah,
I'm not gonna just let you do whatever you want when you're doing business with me. So Ethereum needs to tighten its grip on its ICO leadership and what they're doing.
yeah.
So I mean, when you, how do we know that the Ethereum developers didn't know about this flaw and didn't tell somebody and it got hacked?
Well,
And
I guess a web programmer.
How did the white hat hackers know how to get in there and steal the money back, or steal the money so they don't take it all?
That was the wallet hack. Yeah, I mean, yeah.
There's just so many that involve Ethereum. It kills its credibility. Its credibility is getting shot every day. And if you notice, it's not hitting the price. That's what's driving me crazy. Before any of that happened, it was at 200. All that happened, it's still at 200.
Actually, it shot up to 250,
Yes.
and it was possibly going to go higher when that happened. And I think that's what dragged it back to 200. It actually went back to about 185, or maybe even slightly lower, and then it rebounded up to 230, and now it's sitting around 200. So I think the fact that Bitcoin has gone from around that time from 2,500 to 2,700, and Ethereum's stayed the same, you know, is showing some weakness in it. So actually, from a technical analysis point of view, it's not a particularly great buy right now, but if Bitcoin shoots up, then it could shoot up as well. It just hasn't been following Bitcoin up in this latest
Correct.
slow
Actually,
trend.
Bitcoin shot up today
Yeah.
a couple $100, and Ethereum
To
still
2.7, yeah.
Yeah, 27.50 was the last time I checked.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I'm talking about, yeah. Okay, so moving on to your point about mining versus proof of stake, I think you were saying that proof of stake isn't as secure, or what were you saying, why you prefer mining over
Again, we'll go back to the word decentralization. Decentralization to me is what makes the crypto space what it is, and what makes it important for our future, and why we need it, and how it's going to challenge governments and countries and worlds and currencies. And by going proof of stake, you're minimizing that decentralization. How? Because when it's proof of stake, now you have master nodes making decisions. Who are the master nodes? The people that can afford to buy 1,000, 5,000, whatever their structure is. We're back to the rich controlling the poor. In Dash, if you own 1,000 Dash, you get to make decisions. And you get paid. So now, again, we're back to the rich controlling the poor, which is what we're trying to get away from. The 99% being controlled by the 1%.
In some ways that's correct with Dash, but Dash is a masternode based proof of stake. There's plenty of coins which are not masternode based proof of stake, like 1337 or Litecoin.
I haven't.
And then there's
I've never heard of
there's
it.
hundreds of others, you know. Let's say pretty much if you threw a dart at any in the top 100 or 200, half of them would be proof of stake. Okay, NEM you need 10,000.
Well, here's the problem. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but the reason why most of them are proof of stake and not mining is not because they want that. It's because they're not going to get the mining power they need, because they're nobody. Nobody knows who they are. So by the time they get to know, they need hashing power. So they're not going to be able to get that hashing power, and that's why they start off proof of stake, because they're shit coins.
To get the hashing power, it's not the poor controlling the coin with the hashing power, because you need a lot of money to set up a mining operation, particularly with Bitcoin. You need ASICs. Yeah.
Now, not when it first started. When it first started, that laptop would have made you a millionaire right now. Actually, if not a billionaire. So no, I disagree. When a coin first starts, it doesn't need a lot. It does not need a lot.
Yeah, I mean, when a coin is starting, I think proof of work is okay, but then shifting to proof of stake, you know, if they set that up in their code so they don't have to kind of change oil while the engine's running, like with Ethereum, they set that up to begin with, it's fine. But let's say other coins that are proof of stake, you don't need a masternode for all of them to be staking. You know, Redcoin is another example. There's hundreds of them.
Why do you feel proof of stake is so important? Explain to me, please.
Well, it's not using the electricity that mining is. It's not expending money and energy to kind of make money. It's kind of expending nothing, because the people who hold the coins, you know, it's like if I hold Bitcoin, I'm not going to get any extra Bitcoin from that, where with a proof of work. But if I hold Bitcoin and Bitcoin became proof of stake, I would get extra Bitcoin. And by doing that, holding that Bitcoin in the proof of stake wallet, I would be securing the network as well, because I'd be running a node effectively. You know, the coins which don't have master nodes tend to have nodes, and you might put a small amount, like Zen is another one. With ZCash, I think you only need about 50 odd, 53, I think it is, ZCash coins to set up a node in that one. So potentially, you know, I myself could have a dozen nodes just by taking the coins off the exchange, setting up the node and leaving one computer running without necessarily a GPU attached to it. Proof of capacity is another one I like, but I prefer the type of proof of capacity. I prefer the kind of the actual ones that are using your storage rather than just proving it, like Siacoin and storage coin.
Here's the problem. You're bringing up a bunch of coins that I really have no clue about.
Yeah.
I like the top three.
Yeah.
I believe any other coin besides Bitcoin and Litecoin. I mean, I say top three, but I don't really trust Ethereum yet. Now, I don't degrade Ethereum. I criticize Ethereum and I criticize Dash. I don't trust neither of them yet. Dash has too much pre-mining scandals. They have the masternode thing. They have the miners, the way they split. They don't give the miners the full credit. They take some for marketing. They take some for the masternodes. The marketing part is the worst thing about Dash because they bash Bitcoin. They have Amanda B. Johnson, which I think she stopped working for them.
Yeah,
I'm not sure.
she's on a hiatus,
Well,
which I think that means she's left. But
yeah,
Yeah.
she shitted on Bitcoin for a whole year. And you know that kind of marketing is kind of like people when they put people down to make themselves up. It's the same thing when a coin needs to bash Bitcoin to bring itself up. That tells me a lot about a coin. There's too many. We have 800 coins currently right now, and about 300 ICOs coming within the next year. So far, that can grow to 1,000. It's ridiculous. We do not need all
yeah,
these coins.
I agree. We don't need so many, and
how
it's good
many-
that the SEC has come in. That's where I actually want to go back to what you were saying about the hacks on the Ethereum ICOs. You know, I think that's one of the reasons why the price of Ethereum wasn't affected as much as you might have expected, because people were thinking, oh good, you know, there'll be less of these shady ICOs because it's the ICOs that are doing something wrong, not Ethereum itself.
Well, Ethereum's opening the door for them.
Yeah.
The SEC is only in the United States. So now all I have to do is go to Mexico and set up my ICO. The SEC thing is everybody's all riled up about it. It's nothing. It's only in the United States. Most ICOs are not even in the United States.
Yeah.
So the SEC is used now, and Ethereum's not based out of the United States. So the whole thing is a joke, and everybody's going crazy. Oh, the SEC, nobody's going to be doing this in the United States anyway.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, it's not going to stop the ICOs,
Oh,
but
no.
what I think is, you know, if SEC is going to have some impact in tidying up the ICOs, that's a good thing, and I think that's why the
I
Ethereum
agree.
price wasn't.
I agree.
affected
But here's the
as much.
problem also with Ethereum and their ICO and their smart contracts. Let's say you want to make an ICO on the smart contract platform. You need Ethereum to buy into it. Now let's say, like for example, BAT I think made like $30 million in 30 seconds.
Yeah.
What are they going to do with all those coins? They need to sell them to get money to do their project. That's going to destroy the price when it's selling time. There was another coin that gathered up $300 million in a 24-hour raising, and they extended it. It was at $250 million. They extended it. It went up to $300 million. What's going to happen when they start selling?
Yeah, I mean you have to hope that they don't sell them all at once. Just the same as if someone, you know, if the Rothschilds are now buying Bitcoin, if
Well,
they
they're not
buy
buying Bitcoin.
300 million worth of Bitcoin, you know, they could decide, okay, we'll sell them all at once
Let's
as well.
straighten that out first. The Rothschild did not buy Bitcoin. That's false. The Rothschild bought a stock that owns Bitcoin. They bought a stock called GBTC. And this stock, each share is supposed to represent 0.1 Bitcoin. And it's overpriced. They bought stocks. They did not buy direct Bitcoin, which is weird, because why not just buy Bitcoin at a cheaper price than paying the big premium?
Yeah.
It's going for $400 a share. That makes Bitcoin priced at $4,000. Why do that?
Yeah.
I mean that, and a lot of people some people are actually happy that the Rothschilds bought in, are in the game now. I'm not. This is to fight, crypto space is to fight these people, not invite them in.
The good thing is though, if they don't get in first, if they're in second, then then they're investing in coins that we already hold, and they're going to rise the value. So, as long as they're not the ones who started it, it's open to anyone to get in. But my point was, if they buy 400, let's say $1 billion worth, and then decide to sell them all at once, it's the same as an ICO dumping them all at once.
No, that's not
and
true.
yes,
let me give you an example.
it is more likely to happen with an ICO because they need the cash in US dollars or whatever currency they're using.
Ethereum has 92 million tokens. Bitcoin right now has 16.5 million. There's a huge seizure from Silk Road, 30,000 Bitcoin. They were sold at an auction, and a billionaire bought them. It did not affect the price negatively. It actually raised the price because a billionaire got into it. And this billionaire right now is actually making an ICO, which is beyond me. But so no, not necessarily
esports or something.
Bitcoin. Somebody selling Bitcoin does not necessarily affect the price, because you cannot sell 30,000 Bitcoin on an exchange in one shot. But Ethereum must be sold through an exchange. Not most, but it will be. But Bitcoin, if I can put an ad in a newspaper, I got 50 Bitcoin for sale, somebody will come and buy them like that. They don't have to go through exchanges where they'll affect the... Ethereum is a different beast. It needs to go through, most likely needs to go through an exchange, which will affect the price.
Well, I think the only difference is you've got local Bitcoins. You don't have local Ethereum yet, but Ethereum's a newer product. I mean,
it's only a year and a half old.
There are people in Dubai here who say to me every week, can I buy some Bitcoin off you? I want to take them to India and sell them there, or
how much is Bitcoin going for here right now, peer to peer?
It's about the same price, or maybe 2% higher than the market price. But back in India, when they go back to India with them, I understand they get a higher price.
India, it's on the cash market, they're going for about $4,000 at current price. In Venezuela, they're going for about 25 million Bolivar, which is about equivalent to about $4,500.
Yeah.
Canada, about $4,000. It really depends where.
In Canada?
Oh yeah, Canada, it's hot there, and they are overpaying huge for it.
Okay.
A lot of countries are, the exchanges don't represent the true price of Bitcoin, because the exchanges don't know what's going on in the real world. They go on with, because you gotta say, exchanges, 99% of them are just for trading. Like, if I wanted to buy 10 Bitcoin right now, how can I go on Poloniex and buy it? I can't. They don't take cash. Neither does Bittrex, Fitrex, they don't take cash. So you gotta send Bitcoin to buy altcoins, and then when you want to get out of the altcoins, you gotta get the Bitcoin back. So they don't really give the true price of Bitcoin. The true
but Coinbase does, for example.
Coinbase does, and that's why they're the highest price.
Bitstamp can,
but well, yes, but here's the problem with them. A lot of people don't buy large amounts on there because they don't want to show that they're paying you for it, or they're buying it. Because when you sell it, you got to pay taxes on it. So everybody wants to use cash. They don't want to use a bank account, a credit card. A lot of people don't want to do that.
This is something I forgot to bring up in your channel, and I should have mentioned it on your video, is that in Dubai we don't pay tax currently. Let's hope it stays that way. But so it not only saves a lot in terms of not having to pay capital gains, not having to worry about showing where the money's come from, it also saves a lot of paperwork. So if I buy and sell them, for example, 10 times in one day, making 2 or 3% on each trade, I don't need to worry about the paperwork for doing that.
Dubai is a needle in a haystack of the world.
True.
Dubai is, you got a few out of billions. I mean, there's millions of people out there that are trying to buy Bitcoin and cannot.
Yeah.
Like, I have my buddy, who's actually my cousin, he wants to buy Bitcoin. He doesn't have a checking account or a credit card. He's having trouble. I sent him to an ATM. The ATMs are like, they're at almost $600 above the actual price of the exchanges.
Wow.
So it's a huge premium, premium. And that's the true price of Bitcoin. Not what you see on Coinbase or what you see on Bittrex or BTCE was like $400 cheaper than Coinbase, but you can't buy it. That's what, you know, and then if you want to go on a place that does take cash, their prices are high. So let's say you went on, let's say you wanted to buy from Ethereum, you bought Ethereum at Coinbase, transferred to the BTCE to buy Bitcoin, you're overpaying for the Ethereum.
Yeah, it used to be that way in Dubai with BitOasis, and now they've got a marketplace, and the supply and demand side has balanced itself out around about the coin market cap price.
Have you?
And that one you can transfer your cash into and buy Bitcoin with, or you can pay with your credit card.
So they don't
pay
charge a
about 4%
premium?
more. No, if you go through the marketplace and you put your cash in by transferring it from your bank account, you're paying about the same price as coin market cap here. And I think that's why some people from overseas do come to Dubai to buy Bitcoin, not necessarily the privacy aspect. But my point that I was going to make was, you know, every week I get people asking me about buying a lot of Bitcoin because they do have a limit. BitOasis do have a limit how much you can buy each week. And maybe once every 3 weeks I get someone asking about buying Ethereum for cash as well. So I think that market will develop eventually.
Oh yeah, I hope so. We need mass adoption. That's the goal.
And now the last point I wanted to debate with you is about the value in trading. Now you had made good points about, you know, that you can buy Bitcoin and just hold it and it will go up in value, and in the long term that's true, I believe. But I also believe you can add to what you can make by trading. The reason is because once you're watching the market every day and consistently, now I don't recommend trading for people who can't do it full time, but for people who can do it full time, I think you can pick times where the price is too high, there isn't a good enough reason, or there is a good reason the price has gone up and it's overshot. And by using technical analysis or just simply watching the graphs on the exchanges, you can kind of see, okay, this coin's reached the limit of its buying. Now it's about time that the sellers, you can see the sellers stacked up, they're about to dump on the market, take their profits. Okay, now I should sell, and you sell, and then half an hour later you can buy that same coin 5 or 10% cheaper. Now you can do that with Bitcoin, you can do that with Ethereum, or you can have a balanced portfolio of coins, and there will be times when you could have bought Bitcoin and it's gone up a lot more than your altcoins have, but you can add to what you're making with this day trading or swing trading, and you can also have times where the altcoins have gone up a lot more than Bitcoin as well. So I think about a month ago the altcoins had gone up a lot more than Bitcoin, and now Bitcoin's gone up more than the altcoins. So I'm expecting that to balance out in the next month.
Okay, look, if you're going to trade, you have to be committed. You have to be committed to 12 hours a day. You gotta not have a job. You gotta not have no responsibilities, no kids. When I said I disagree with trading, I was talking about the average Joe. Yeah. The average Joe has a job, family. You know, trading is for people who can sit behind a computer for 12 straight hours and handle their business properly, know when to get in, when to get out, not use their emotions, they use their brain, and you can make money. But the majority of people use their emotions, they'll buy it going up, and then they'll, as soon as it dips, they get scared and sell at a loss. Most people are not built for trading.
Yep.
And that's why I tell people, try to stay away from it, stick to holding, long term, it's better. And now when I say hold, like for example, I bought Litecoin at $4, $6, $8. Once it hit 40, I sold.
Yeah.
I sold. Now, I don't consider that trading. I consider that an investment that
investing.
matured,
Yeah.
and I sold. I bought back in when it hit 30 because I did not think it's going to go below that, and I was ready. It didn't. So, trading is for the strong.
Yeah.
For the strong and the committed. Other than that, I suggest you stay away.
Yeah. And you can do a little bit of trading in your weekends as well, because that's what I do. I've got a job. I can't devote, so much time to it. But, probably my most profitable days are Fridays and Saturdays, because they're the weekends here. But I agree with what you're saying. So I think that was the main things I wanted to debate from your earlier conversation.
So,
Thanks very much.
Oh,
it's great to
thank you.
have an expert here in Dubai.
And I wanted to thank you guys for coming out and being so pleasant. And I mean, that's so awesome to come to a country and meet fellow Bitcoiners in the space. Especially, we all have the same goal, mass adoption.
And
that's awesome.
Make sure you subscribe to Ozzy's channel. I'll put the links below in the description. And
Please, please.
And you'll be able to see more of him. I think you're posting most days, are you? Or
I try to do every day. Now, I've been on vacation for the past month and a half, so I've had many days off. But in general, I post every day.
yeah, that shows what a year of doing Bitcoin can do.
And
for
I'm
you.
not, and my channel is not just about Bitcoin. My channel is about building wealth. I own multiple companies. I started from zero. It's bettering yourself and how, I mean, I have a series called Building Wealth where I talk about how to go from, from zero to, it's you should really watch it. It's